Michelle King with Michelle King Coaching and the Magicking Center. Thanks so much for joining me today. I will be sharing a mastery tip with you on letting go. So 3 pointers in this, where number one, we implement a partnership with our human and spiritual nature. The second part I'll be sharing with you is allowing that human experience to naturally unfold and kind of bringing consciousness to that. So that we can be present with it and fully release it. Number three is about allowing our spiritual nature to unfold. And that is the letting go of the how it happens, how it unfolds as we're navigating advanced transitions and upgrades. So again, this is all about a mastery process of letting go. So to talk more about that first principle, in implementing or integrating our human and spiritual nature, this requires will and grace. Will can be represented as intention. So setting a clear intention of, I am willing to release this. I'm willing to let this go. And when I think about the human experience, it's very tangible, right? It's very physical in nature. Like for me, an example that worked really well was a tug of war, and being able to see what's on the other side of that rope, whether it's a person, place, life circumstance, or a way of thinking, or a habit, or a lifestyle, or something that's not working for you that you know you're being called to release and let go of for whatever reasons. And it's different for everyone, right? But on the other side of that rope, you know, if you stay in that game of tug of war, you're still in attachment to that, right? You're still in the polarity of the human experience. So if you like to explore this, you can go into this with consciousness and see yourself letting go of the rope, letting go of whatever's on the other side of that rope. And realizing too that it's really an expression of consciousness, right? Whatever that is, it's an aspect of you that you're saying, I see you, right? I feel you in the tug of war. I'm gonna let go of resistance now. I'm not gonna play in the 3D to try and change this. I'm gonna let go. I'm gonna resource my higher mind. This is where the partnership comes in. So first, initially, is that will of I'm ready and willing to let go. So in that, you can see yourself kind of letting go of the rope, and feel into that experience as well as you kind of let go of the rope, and you can see what happens. And then if you go into it in consciousness, whether that's in a meditation or in journaling or just sitting with that, right, and just feeling into that experience, stay open to kind of what your creative intelligence reveals to you. You may have a conversation. You may, get some sort of insight that helps you release and let go and forgive, because that's an essential aspect of letting go. If we stay in that tug of war, it's obviously a way to stay attached, right? To stay in that, and we will drag that in to our current reality. So this is a partnership with will and grace. And that second aspect is the grace, is that partnership with your spiritual nature. And you can call on that. You can direct that energy. Now that you've let it go, you can say, and now I call on my higher mind to resource this energy, because it's all energy, thoughts, experiences, our emotions, it's all energy. And so you get to direct that. And that's part of your power as a sovereign, and an aspect of kind of disciplining the mind and being able to exercise your body, your intuition, and your creative intelligence to resource it for the highest good. And you can align that with your vision, or you can say, just in general, for my highest good, I call on my higher mind. I give this up to my higher mind to be resourced, to be exalted, up leveled in a way that's in my highest good, or in my best interest, or in alignment with health and vitality, or abundance and fulfillment and love, whatever that might be for you. You get to direct that. And that's part of the integration process. And I think so often the letting go can be so challenging when we solely rely on the self or human nature, right? Because we're just playing that game of tug of war. It's like, I'm going to let go, but where does that energy go, right? We have to bring consciousness to that in order for it to be resourced and optimized. So the second part of this is allowing our human experience. So as soon as we let go and we give this to our higher mind to be resource and directed, right? We let go of how that happens. And often what we experience is a natural unfolding of thoughts or memories and emotions that come up, right? And it's kind of like a detox or a clearing, so to speak, or a natural withdrawal from that experience. So if we understand that that's natural, that's going to be part of kind of the grieving process, then we can allow it to fully emerge, and at the same time, like, experience it with a sacredness, with grace, with honor, with a yes, because we know we're clearing our field and we're bringing love to those thoughts, experiences, and emotions. These are part of our human experience, that full spectrum of love, that full spectrum of challenge, that full spectrum of pain, whatever that is that you're experiencing and navigating, to allow you to make room for spirit to move, right? So we got to release this, and it's all energy. And as you're bringing consciousness to it, it's like it evaporates, right? Like it's being transformed, it's being brought to the light, it's being brought to the surface, and enriching your soul at the same time. You're evolving, you're growing, and what's emerging is your true nature, and that is, understanding, compassionate, loving, peace. It's neutral, right? It's not judging you in the experience of it. So this is really important, allowing that human experience, recognizing that it's part of the process, that it actually means you're growing and evolving. It means you're releasing, you're making space for spirit to move, you're making space for the new to emerge, and you're doing it in a sacred, loving way, right? So we're embracing that human experience. And with that, you're integrating, the power of your thoughts, emotions, and memories in that regard, right? That's part of that integration process. So we're looking at it, we're feeling it, we're allowing it to move. And so that kind of takes you through, kind of the catalyst, which is fire; air, which is the mind, the thoughts; water, which is the emotions; and then the embodiment of that actual experience, which is earth. And I'll be going more into detail about this in the masterclass coming up at the end of the month, the last Thursday, the 28th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, on conscious uncoupling. So this is a really big part of that. That's why I'm bringing this up, to kind of, give you a little taste test of what's to come in that masterclass. But really, this is all part of that evolutionary process. And we can resource these elements to really bring consciousness to the transformational process, to the evolutionary process, and integrate whole being in that process, you as the source of your love, power, and truth in that process. There's nothing more precious than that. So number 3 is allowing them the spiritual experience, right? So that is the human nature wants to be in control of everything, right? But we are resourcing that ability by directing our creative intelligence to give it up to our higher mind, to give it up to the creative field of absolute potential to be resourced, right? The parts of us that see the unseen and know the unknown, know what's in our best interest, and are aligning us in partnership with the creative field, the universe, God, source, whatever you want to call it, to align us with our truest nature, to align us with, true abundance, all those qualities of our soul, and all the qualities that you're getting to explore by immersing yourself in your vision, inspired by your soul, right? Those nuggets. So allowing for this spiritual nature is saying, okay, how can I be so present in this experience? And as you're kind of navigating the letting go, the partnership, and then the human experience, you're making room, right? And what you're actually doing is positioning yourself to be in the present moment, right? So if you've watched those previous videos, you've already clarified your vision, you've immersed yourself in the energy and information of it through song or writing out those potentials, and you're navigating, you're like discerning what is and isn't in alignment for you. And that's going to require you to say no to some things in your life that maybe were in harmony or in resonance at the time. But now that you are expanding in consciousness, life is changing, you're moving into alignment with your vision, there are going to be things that we let go. And so this is part of that process. And so in this third step of, allowing the spiritual experience, it's allowing it to be revealed to you. So this is, if we're talking about will and grace, this is that grace part of, the opportunities that show up for you and allowing that to naturally unfold versus you can kind of feel into when you want to like make things happen and when you allow things to naturally unfold. It's like you've set your targets and now you can trust in the power of your intentions and know that it's inevitable, and how that happens is the surprise. And we get to be excited about that. We get to, allow that creative field to work with us, through us, and for us. And I think it's really important in those times where you kind of like want to know, because I know that's been a pattern for me, even in the magicking process where I'm like manifesting things. It's like you have this sense of like urgency, like you want it to happen now, or having like psychic impressions where you have intuitive hits about people, places, or circumstances in your life, and it hasn't yet happened, and you're like, oh, but I'm feeling it, when is it going to happen? You're like anticipating, right? It's like, how can you be so present in the knowing that it's inevitable, that there is no navigating the past or navigating the future, like you're in the present, it's here now. And so that's a little bit of like an exercise and a practice of disciplining the mind, right? Of bringing presence to such an understanding of how spirit works and how this creative field works, that you're in the knowing of it. It's like, be still and know, be still and know. And so, I thought I would just share these three aspects of letting go, this partnership of your human and spiritual nature, the human part, that tug of war, being able to let go and allow your creative intelligence to move through you, and maybe see like if any insights or impressions show up when you do that. I know I like to go into that and like see myself in the tug of war with the person, place, or circumstances or old paradigm that's no longer in alignment with my vision. If I can feel into that and see what happens. Sometimes you get impressions that show up in that process, that's going to be helpful for you and supportive for you in navigating that. And then like will and grace, that's your intention and grace, giving it up to your higher mind and allowing the human experience of the withdrawal or the detox or the process of grief, as you kind of let go with love, let go with awareness, let go with understanding from your soul nature. And really it's not even a letting go, because it's being exalted, right? You're directing that through your intelligence and directing it in alignment with this new reality that you're already in, and bringing presence and awareness to that. Okay. So I will be exploring this more in the masterclass coming up on July 28th, as I mentioned before, on conscious uncoupling, bridging breakups, breakdowns, and breakthroughs. That can be, again, old paradigms, any relationship, with our body, money, home, love, whatever that might be for you. And, resourcing the elements of transformation for evolutionary wellness. So I hope you can join me for the live. Again, that's at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find the meeting details on my website at michellekingcoaching.com and look up the events on there. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. You can send me an email at mkingcoaching@gmail.com. Thanks again for joining me today. And remember, you are the source of your love, power, and truth. Oh, I also wanted to let you know that the next video is going to be on signs, synchronicities, and spirit. So as we're navigating transition, we're, processing the letting go and moving into alignment with our soul nature, more and more expanding into the vision and aligning with the path or your path, you will start to notice signs and synchronicities of how spirit is communicating with you. So I will get more into that on the next video. Thanks again for joining me.